that's all our parents knew. Like, we talked
Yeah,
about it. That's all. That's the only way they know. So if that's the only way they know, what we
you
can
can't.
get from it now is to
Yeah,
change it. We have the power
yeah,
to change it,
yeah.
rather than sit there and like hate
Point
on
fingers.
the.
I mean, hate and
Yeah,
point finger and blame them
yeah,
for your
yeah,
problems. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. And because when it goes back to that communication, and the reason why you feel like you're hated, or you feel like you're controlled, or you feel like you can't succeed in life because of your parents or because of your family, is because that lack of communication that you guys had. And so yeah, like I said, man, I was raised very similar to a lot of Tongans, and I felt that I was controlled. I felt like that I couldn't, fully do me because I didn't want to be selfish. But at the same time, like now, when I become a parent, I guess the big thing is when I became a parent, I started to see things in a different perspective, and so
yeah,
it doesn't hold me against my parent. It doesn't make me sit there and blame my parents and be like, "Fuck,
yeah,
you guys
yeah.
stopped me from like living my dream." I could have been All Blacks, but because of you, that.
Hey, hey,
But
hey,
like,
hey.
yeah, I look like that, and yeah, I don't hold anything against it because I know that that was all they knew as a parent. So
Yeah, and
yeah,
I wanna yeah, and I wanna bring that point again to everybody that's watching, and because that's something I do see a lot with a lot of Tongans. They just have so much animosity and hate towards their parents. They blame their parents, but never fully understanding. Also, like I always tell people, man, like sometimes you gotta put yourself in somebody else's shoes.
yeah,
Your parents. No matter how they raised you, but don't forget that they moved here and they came from
yeah,
the
exactly,
islands and created a
yeah,
life here for you. They did the best they can, and we just understand that our parents are human beings too.
yeah,
They're not
exactly,
perfect.
yeah,
I'm not perfect either. We're not perfect. Our
yeah,
parents are not perfect. So as much as we hate them putting those standards on us,
yeah,
don't put your standards on them.
exactly, yeah,
on
exactly.
them.
It's it's like it's funny you say that because it's when I was growing up, my dad is when I started, like, my parents, because they work on the vineyards,
Yeah,
and it's tough work, and so like when I used to have school holidays, I used to come visit them and help them out, and like
yeah,
my dad is he's one of those, he started working in Hawaii. Iate, laboring is just another job for him, and
yeah,
he works really hard, and so like when I was working with him, he one of the things that every time I like get tired or want to sit down, he always used to do those ones like, go ahead, get 40, like, now we can come on for you, my guy, and he used to say that, bro, and I used to like, in my head, I was like, bro, shut up, old man,
yeah,
before I get up and drop you right now. I used to think like that, and I used to
yeah,
hate it. And like, it's funny because later on in life now, even though I'm not working out in the plantation or working out in Iate or anything like that, those words ring in my head when I work hard towards something. I'm like, those words, like, now it's a far for mata. When I have a goal to set and I do stuff, my dad's words are stuck with me, and it's like the same thing with mom. Even though when I was growing up, she'll say stuff to me like akonaki and stuff like that, and I'll be like, stop being controlling or stop being, But as I grow up, some of the life lessons they've taught
yeah,
me at the
yeah,
time that I didn't agree with, it's installed, and it kind of really helps a lot. And I'm like, oh, so it's not all bad. You still
yeah.
learn a lot from what they teach, even though if that's the only way they taught was like controlling and stuff like that. It's you still. But I guess it depends on your perspective. If you want to focus
Yeah,
on all the negativity, you're not going to pick up anything positive
yeah,
from it.
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah,
and that's something for me, it's just like I just want us to grow and learn and
yeah,
and live out a better life. Um, and like I said, and I don't want, I just don't, I don't want, I don't like seeing kids and families fighting one another and hating and separating. I want families to stay together, but I also understand that if we want something different, that we have to change.
yeah,
Uh, but for me, I always feel like I tell kids all the time, look, your parents always give our Tongan parents, only they did the best job they could with what they had.
yeah,
And I understand that they came from Tonga, no education, no college degree. They came to a
yeah,
foreign country, and some of us can't even do that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Some of us
Thank
cried
God for
moving.
Google.
Some of us cried moving to a different city.
Yeah.
Let alone try to go to a different country and learn something new. But
Yeah.
our parents, like you said, our parents, like, they're not perfect. They did their best. But like it's like, man, like there's a lot of things. Of course, they could have done better, but don't try to like disregard all the good things that they gave you. They taught you
Yeah.
in your life. Like